I'm coming in here today to play a clip from yesterday's live stream because the whole live stream got demonetized because I made some off the cuff remarks, political comments, I think, that they deemed as misinformation. But just to let you know, YouTube and your censors, it's not misinformation. It's called having an opinion. But nevertheless, let's get to the clip. But instead, what they've been doing here recently is just letting it go butt wild. And it's been throwing dollars here and there and everywhere. That's never going to be equitable. At least if you make in Alabama and Ohio State come to a certain level, even if you can't, as Bowling Green, even if you can't come up to the $5 or $6 million level, at least you won't have Ohio State and Alabama and Oklahoma and Texas and all those teams spending $40 million where you'll never have a chance. At least with the NCAA doing this, there's going to be a modicum of some kind of a rule in place or some kind of salary cap almost. But no, Tennessee got to come in there and just shit in the bed and just mess the party up for everybody. Oh, we just passed a state law. We don't have to do that. We don't have to go by the same rules as Alabama and Oklahoma and Texas and Michigan and Ohio State. We make our own rules, man. We can hide behind our state law, man. We're going to hide behind that skirt. Just saying, man, I like Tennessee. I like what they've done with Tennessee. I like what they've done with Nico Amaleva. Let me back up a bit. I don't completely like Tennessee, but I do like some of the things they've been doing here recently until this one. Sign the damn thing, man. Yeah, I know you're not going to be able to sue them. You're putting yourself under the thumb of the NCAA again, which has shown in the past that they are inconsistent as hell about enforcing penalties. But at least if they create an entirely different commission, maybe it's going to be a different network of people this time. Like, let people mention my former coach, Nick Saban, is someone that come in and do that. Cody Campbell, the Texas Tech booster that Donald Trump had been talking to, as well as Nick Saban, which the White House backed off of that. I got an article on that too. Let me bring that up real quick for y'all. But before I do that, let me look at some of y'all's comments. Thunder OU Sooner. Sounds like Tennessee is trying to open another can of worms. Yeah, a lot of people are taking up for them, but I don't think they realize what Tennessee doing. They're like, oh man, y'all trying to make Tennessee break their state laws. Yeah, it's a state law. You're right, but there's a half truth there in the fact that they passed that state law right when this crap's going on, man. That state law probably ain't been in place for a year or two because they knew what was coming, man, and they want to be able to have an advantage. Alabama, our boosters probably the same way. Texas booster same way. Oklahoma, they're probably all thinking, man, yeah, we need to get with Tennessee till NCAA to kiss ass because we want to make sure we keep this thing with the blue bloods. And I'm a blue blood fan, man, but that shit ain't right, man. I'm not saying make it to where Bowling Green can compete. I'm just saying make it to where Wake Forest and Vanderbilt and Baylor and teams like that, they're the lower tier or middle of the tier teams in the big four conferences where they can compete. But Duck Knight says make Phil Knight come CFB commissioner. Yeah, I bet you like that, huh? See, that's another team. Oregon's got all this money, but Oregon, Alabama, Oklahoma, Texas, all these teams, Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame, all of them, USC, Skittle Shitters, all of them are wanting to sign this thing. And they all got rich boosters too. They could all outbid numerous teams. There's a club there, probably about, I'd say 8 to 10 programs that can outbid everybody in the rest of the FBS. What is it, 132 teams? Yeah. There's like, I'd say 9 to 10 programs that could actually outbid everybody. And they want to get away from that, and they want to make it to where it's fair. But then you got Big 12 people and ACC people bitching and whining, complaining that they're changing the playoff format to straight seeding, which is what they really asked for. We want straight seeding, but we still want to keep our conference champions as a top 4 seed. Well, your conference champion has 4 losses like Clemson did last year. You don't deserve to be a top 4 seed. I like Clemson. I like Dabo Swinney. He's an Alabama graduate. But if you don't deserve it, you just don't deserve it. You know? That's stupid, man. They want their cake and eat it too kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? Jay Chapman's in the house. Jay Chapman says Tennessee will ultimately honor the SEC. All the stuff he said it means nothing. I agree, Jay. It does mean nothing. And ultimately the Tennessee legislature, because in that state, Tennessee football is king. They will get in there and act like this is some kind of nuclear bill. I mean, that's how important college football is to most teams in the Southeast. They'll call the legislature in and make an emergency bill passing real quick if Tennessee is threatened to be booted out of the SEC, and then other teams have said they won't play them either. If Tennessee does not sign, the SEC needs to kick Tennessee out of the SEC conference. I completely agree. And I'm not saying that because Tennessee is one of my chief rivals. I'm saying it because it's just the right thing to do, man. Sign the damn thing. Stop hiding behind these little state laws. We're going to have to break state. Man, you know how many times they've probably broke state laws in the past? You know how many times Phil Fulmer cheated, even put Alabama in a quid pro quo and set us up and try to get us the death penalty while they were doing the same thing. They had a money trail on T. Martin, who played in 1998 for the last national championship team for the Volunteers. A lot of people don't know that. Peyton Manning didn't win a national title when I was at Tennessee. The year after Peyton Manning left, T. Martin and Tennessee won a national title. There was a money trail to T. Martin from a Tennessee booster in Mobile, Alabama, from Western Union. What did the NCAA do with that? Absolutely nothing, because they wanted Alabama, because they had an axe to grind with Alabama, because Gene Stallings kicked one of their enforcement officers out of his office back in 1992 or 1993, it might have been 94. And so, yeah, Tennessee was the snitch, the informant, the druggie that was doing drugs just like the drug dealers. And they set us up. But that's the way Tennessee is. But like I said, I got some good Tennessee people that come in here, and I hate that for them, because it's people like Phil Fulmer and the Tennessee government, the corrupt ass boosters in Tennessee, who's still trying to dabble in here and make it an unfair advantage for Tennessee to try to get them back on top, because they've been down for so long. Yeah, they beat Alabama 2 out of the last 3 years, but you could also say Alabama's beat them 17 out of the last 19 years. Just saying, they're not quite back. So, they're trying to do anything they can to where Tennessee can continue to have an unfair advantage over other schools, not necessarily Alabama, the big dogs like Alabama and Texas and Oklahoma and Ohio State, but teams like Vanderbilt within their state who've shown life. To beat Alabama last year, probably should have beat Texas. They were within a touchdown. They want to keep teams in the middle of the road, not the Bowling Greens of the world, the middle of the road in the bottom tier of these Power 4 conferences. They want to keep them down too. That's my opinion. Donnie's in the house. He says, this sounds like that California stuff, the Cal UCLA calamony. It's worse than that to me, because they're holding everybody else hostage. Oh, our state law. I get tired of hearing that crap, man, about their state law. One minute everybody's in agreement, next minute everybody's like crying and wetting their diapers. And you always got that one petulant, childish-like program that's got to throw a fit, just to throw a fit, just because they've tasted a little bit of success and they came back and they've beaten Alabama a couple of times, and now all of a sudden they're just like, man, we can't let actual rules be put in place that's going to make it fair for everybody. We can't do that because we just now started getting good again. Do you ever say anything that matters? They aren't kicking Tennessee out of the SEC, dummy. Hey, jackass, I'm not the one that said it. They've been saying it on ESPN. They've been saying it on numerous podcasts. They've been saying on Tennessee podcast. I just played it. It says, Tennessee guy's the one that's saying it, boy. So don't come in here getting pissed off at me and wetting your diaper, man, and losing your noodle market, boy. I'm not the one saying it. Your boy, Tennessee guy, he's saying it. ESPN said it. Crane and Company was saying it the other day. Clay Travis, biggest Tennessee fan out there. He's saying it. So you need to dummy up somewhere else, jackass. Jay Chapman says, once we add Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina, Virginia, there will only be 2.5 power conferences. That's true. The ACC, to me, is just going down the same road the Pac-12 did. They're being snooty about certain things. Pac-12 refused to merge or take some Big 12 teams back when Oklahoma and Texas left. The Big 12 was ripe for the picking. The Pac-12 could have come in and basically killed the Big 12, but they chose not to because they wanted to believe the Big 10 and Kevin, whatever his name, Kevin Warren, snaky ass, and then end up getting stabbed in the back and getting all their shit took by the Big 10. Big 10 comes in and takes their 2 biggest markets, and then the Big 12 just comes in and scavenges what they want, and then the Big 10 finishes the job and then pretends like they didn't do anything. They will come back to reality this year. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so, Brian Sandlin. Donnie says, would the Big 10 go after Tennessee if they get kicked out, or the AAU? By the way, the AAU crap is a farce. It's not real. Nebraska lost their AAU status, and they're still in the conference. Notre Dame is not a research institution, but they got AAU approved because they're thinking Notre Dame's thinking, and Big Ten's thinking, we might finally come together, that kind of deal. But no, I don't think the Big Ten would. They might, but it was said in that video that I played by the Tennessee guy that for Market Boy, it was said in that video, he was reading it, that no one will play them. They've all come to this conclusion, and they've come to an agreement with that committee that if you don't sign this, then nobody in the Major Four will play you. Maybe they can go and join the Mountain West or Conference USA. I don't know. But from what they're saying in that article that I had pulled up a while ago, the caveat is also that nobody would play you at that point. So Tennessee would be screwed from what they're saying. I didn't say Notre Dame was going to the Big Ten. You need to comprehend just a little bit better. I'm saying that Notre Dame got AAU approved so that they could go to the Big Ten if they needed to. That's what I said. I didn't say they were. I said they might. Sure is obvious, pretty suspicious. They got AAU approved market, and they're not even a research institution, which is one of the main qualifying factors in getting AAU accreditation, is it not? And all of a sudden they get AAU approved? Like Arsenio Hall used to say back in the day. Things that make you go, Hell, all the team movement may take 5 years or more, said Fred Bagley. That is true. I mean, I don't know, man. Like I said before, in numerous podcasts I've done and numerous live streams, it's just, I thought I'd never see the day that I'm thinking about going back and watching NFL games, but I'm thinking about doing it because at least in the NFL, they have real rules in place that everybody has to abide by. You know, you're always going to have that team that's got more money than everybody and can get the best players sometimes, but at least it's on a playing field, a level playing field enough to where you can compete and get some of the great players. Who's full of shit? How am I full of shit? So you just say stuff You like one of them monkeys in the zoo playing in your poo. You're in there playing in your poo, you think everybody's laughing with you, and they're laughing at you, man. You're just throwing shit against the wall and hoping it sticks. And you say, he's full of shit, but you have nothing to back it up. What? How am I full of shit? Everything I've said is factual tonight. I pulled up your guys, your Tennessee podcasters, saying that the damn SEC and the NCAA is thinking about kicking Tennessee out. First, it was a joke. Now Tennessee wants to act stupid about it, and they want to hide behind their little state law. He's going to make us break the law. We're going to cross the road and get caught for jaywalking. Yeah. Y'all break that state law. Tennessee will change that state law, or Tennessee will be playing Chattanooga and playing Tennessee Martin and Sewanee and maybe Mercer. Maybe you'll get an out-of-state game with Mercer. I don't know, man. But from what they're saying, y'all going to do what everybody else is having to do. Y'all not going to have an unfair advantage and have your little crooked-ass boosters and Phil Fulmer's fat-headed, pumpkin-headed ass coming in there doing corrupt shit anymore. That shit's just not going to happen, man. Yeah, you got 2 wins out of the last 3 years of Alabama, but Alabama's beat y'all 17 out of the last 19. And y'all afraid that your little fleeting success is going to go by the wayside if you can't cheat. Aren't SEC schools heavy research institutions? They shall all be AAU. That's right. Everybody should be AAU. If Notre Dame can get it, shit, anybody can get it, man. I guess they could give it to Iraq A&M. Let's just give AAU status to Iraq A&M. Or maybe Tokyo Tech, the crab cakes and Nagasaki egg rolls from the Japanese American Football League. Everybody's going to be AAU so they can join the Big Ten. I didn't ask you. I didn't say you like Tennessee, man. See, you keep saying like things. You keep twisting things and assuming. I'm just saying if you're taking up for Tennessee, which you are, if you're being a devil's advocate for Tennessee, I'm just debating with you and telling you, in my opinion, you're wrong. Just saying. Just saying, market boy. Anytime you want to get on here and market yourself and go one-on-one with the great one, because I'm a professional smack talker, bro. I could light you up like a Christmas tree on Christmas Eve, but I ain't done that, man. I like playing and I like debating and having fun with it. But anytime you want to be on here, bro, just hit me up at OCF Productions in DMs on X. And that was the clip from last night's show that I wanted you guys to hear. The meat of the show, the most important part that I felt like would entertain everybody. Try to get some monetization since they demonetized me for some BS. But let's go ahead and get the random 4 horsemen shout outs of the day. They go to Denizen, Roy Miller, OU, Squiggly Line Boomer, Squiggly Line Sooner, and Jay were mounted up and saddled up, and they were ready to go and helped us with today's college football clip. And if y'all want to be an outlaw posse like them, it's not but $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week. That's only a half a bottle of water for the outlaw. And if you can't do all that, tell you something else you can do. The big 4, they're all absolutely free. Like, share, comment, and subscribe this channel, especially subscriptions. They keep this party crunk, get the numbers bigger, make the party larger. And with that, I'm out of here. KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.